Good, good morning, everybody. It is Sunday. This is We Talk with Fr.Chris, and I'd like to say, how you doing today? Uh, it's been a really long week, and there's a couple things I'd like to touch on this week. And the massacre in Vegas was very, very sad. But something I noticed right off is this man, if you want to call him that, really hated women, because if you look at the victims, there's more women got killed than men. That just shows that not only was he a weirdo, which his brother keeps arguing, oh, he wasn't weird. But I will say this, it made me very sad. It still makes me very angry that nobody really has any clue as to why this a-hole went about doing this. There were no signs. Typically with your killers, you look at Charles Whitman on the top of the bell tower in Texas. He had a reason for doing what he did. It didn't make any sense. He killed his mother, and then he went up to the top of a bell tower and killed a bunch of other people. You look at the idiot in Aurora. He was delusional. This guy here, he was considered to be a multimillionaire, had plenty of money, and why would you do something like this? Now, this morning, I seen this other fella on here saying that this guy was buying arms for ISIS and was an undercover FBI agent. That's why all the cameras were all around. I have a real problem with a lot of this, because if this is how individual terrorists can act, we definitely have a bigger problem than just one man. I am glad to see that a turnout for a gun show is greatly diminished in California. I was kind of surprised by that. We have them here in Tucson all the time. I don't know when the next one is, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't be going. But here's the thing. Every type of person in the world can go in, any kind of person in the world can go into a gun show and run across a private dealer, a private seller, somebody that does not have a federal firearms sales license, and sell you a gun. But here's the bad part about that. If you're carrying marijuana in Arizona and you're carrying a gun, you are in some serious trouble. You have a choice. You either carry the marijuana or you carry the gun, which makes good sense. You can't go into any dispensary packing heat. Even the guards in front of the dispensary shouldn't even have a gun. That's the fact. That's the way the law is written. It's an unarmed, secured post. But all the security measures, if you knew how many cameras there actually are in a single dispensary, it would blow your mind. You may know about 4 or 6 or notice 4 or 6, but there's a lot more than that. And every inch of a dispensary is monitored. I mean, it's every inch, except for the bathroom. Right? But here's the thing. We as stoners got to stand up and say, enough with the firearms. Have you ever been to a stoner party with lots of stoners? There may be a fist fight or two, but usually those are pretty hard to come by because nobody's really that motivated to get into it. Every once in a while, you got the idiot that's stuck at 15 years old or acts like a 15-year-old. And this could be anybody from 18 to 60 that could act like this. These are the people you got to look out for. You damn sure don't want them having a gun. And let me give you a piece of advice. It's Sunday. When you look at the Bible and you read the Bible, you'll realize there's a book in the Bible that should never have been added to the Bible. The book of Revelations has no business in the Bible. In Leviticus, it talks about fortune tellers and people that predict the future. In Genesis, it says the same thing. There's a different statement in there about people of viewing the future. This is a no-no. Jesus Christ himself stated that future seers or fortune tellers were not to be trusted. Well, you look at John the Divine. John the Divine is the one that wrote Revelation. Revelation was written 60 years after Christ's demise. That John, well, it wasn't written 60 years after. It was actually written longer than that. But John the Divine was not born until 60 years after Christ's death. What's known about him is he was a hermit that lived on an island in a cave. And quite honestly, outside of being a hermit, that's all that's really known about him. But if you read the book of Revelations, it's delusional. And as Christ warned us, holy texts are the target sometimes. Even in, you go and read Leviticus and in Jobs, you'll see what I'm saying. Somebody came along and trashed the book by adding a book that should never have been in there. Also remember that there are 302 books that comprise the entire Bible. Ask yourself, why is it one version only has 26, and the other version has 28? That's the Catholic and the Protestant. Is the difference between two books. Or it's 28 and 30. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look again. You know how it is keeping numbers in your head. Well, also I'd like to let you know it's Sunday, so they're going to have some good deals down at Southern Arizona Integrated Therapies. Fine weed. I want to talk about medibles again. These things are just incredible. New products from Jammin. This is the cherry drops. These are hard cherries. There's the watermelon drops, also from Jammin. My favorite, the root beer drops. And now the green apple drops. These, if you like sour apple candy, oh, these are wonderful. And the saturation point is it absorbs pretty quick. Lasts a lot longer than the gummies. I mean, people gobble down gummies. You can't do that with these. So what I suggest, try one. They're really good. Great for nausea. Great for if you're trying to cut down on your smoking. Some people have to, health reasons, you know. The lungs, the heart, something can't take it, so you got to cut back. I suggest these things. Medibles are the wonder. I mean, it's like a wonder drug. I take 2 of these in the morning, and I could generally go without smoking a good long time. And they last a lot longer once they kick in. It's not the same kind of high as smoking. The high is more like a steady, tingly sensation throughout the entire body. It's like a body high. And it doesn't really disturb your activities. It's easy to drive. It's easy to walk. It's not going to slow you down. Unless you need to slow down, and that's up to you. But for the fact is, I've been using them now for over a week and reduced my smoking by 2/3. So that's pretty good, I guess. My favorite, though, is the root beer, and they always run out first. So tomorrow being Medible Monday, you may want to consider getting in there and getting you some root beer drops, because if I get there, I might buy them all. Anyhow, this is Fr.Chris. This has been Weed Talk. Keep smoking or do the Medibles. They're really wonderful. Have a great weekend, and God be with you.